My name is Michael Lowe and I'm one of the farm managers. Me and Tanya, we joint manage the farm. This is our house here, the Tor Cottage. We've been on the farm it'll be 8 years this Halloween.
We're here to look after the land, the buildings, the animals and the people and activities. The people who come and volunteer here, come and stay here and maybe come up from town for different activities.
We currently have 2 pigs, black pudding and pumpkin pie, which we've had for about a year now. We're going to keep them this summer and then send them off for sausages after the summer. We've got we did have about 40 sheep and now we're down to about 30, 35 because of this, the thing which happened this week. We're running about 1.5 acres of vegetables, which Rob, who lives in the gardener's cottage, he's in charge of the gardens. We have a huge willow garden here, which during the winter, we'll chop all the willow back, and we've been selling bundles of willow to people so they can plant their own willow fences. We also have some horses, which are in the field over here, 2 Shetlands and a cob. We also have some chickens, which we're running in the gardens at the moment to eat all the slugs and all the insects which can damage the crops. So we've got quite a few, and of course all the human animals around. We've got about, 7 volunteers staying on the farm to help in the gardens and help with the general farm work.
A lot of people are experiencing the countryside for the first time. Lots of children have never seen stars, have never sat round a fire, have never stroked a sheep or a pig or a horse. So there's a lot of penny dropping that goes on, people kind of recognising, oh, that's where that kind of food comes from, and oh, I didn't know that they grew on trees, and I thought it all came wrapped up in plastic. So it's really interesting to watch people learning by doing rather than learning from a book. So it's a real place of discovery.
Most of the fields are pasture, but we've got 2 orchards as well, but we also graze the sheep in the orchards as well. We're in a process of converting the farm to sheep and apples, so every year we're building a new orchard, planting a new orchard on the farm. So there's this idea of turning the farm into an orchard.
I'm Robert and I live here. I've lived here for about 5 years. I run the gardens, the vegetable gardens on the farm. I run them on behalf of Paddington Farm Trust.
I'm Hagbard. I've been coming to the farm for probably the last 3 or 4 years to some gatherings that happen here. And then I approached Tanya and Michael about the possibility of living here from the end of February, and then have become part of the team that helps out as volunteers in the garden and here in the polytunnels. So we're planting, we're weeding, we're cropping, all sorts of different things. I absolutely love the ethos of the farm and what it's doing for people, children and adults in inner cities, allowing them to come here and experience being on a farm, seeing animals, seeing plants, etc., etc. And in terms of what it's done for me, it's been a fantastic opportunity to learn about permaculture, to be part of a community for a period of time, and just be here, part of the land, part of the team, etc., which I've really enjoyed doing.
My name is Didi, and I came here through the festival. Actually, I came to the festival last month, and we were up at the Glastonbury tour, and we found out there was a farm not so far away. So my brother kind of pushed for us to come here because we wanted to volunteer on an organic farm, and we also wanted to be in Glastonbury. So this was a great opportunity.
So I'm from Japan. My name is Fusako. So I want to line to organic farm more. So I want to do more the farming the here.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm here looking after the campsite for the summer. We've got a campsite, so I'm pitched up in the corner, making sure everyone's okay. If they've got any questions they need to ask about the local area or the farm, I'm there to help and to keep the communal areas tidy. I'm really a presence generally, but I find myself doing a lot of other things beside because there's always something interesting to do around here.
I'm Celeste. I'm 9. I'm 10. My name is Roxanne and I'm 8 and I live in 9 Torview Avenue, and it's a really nice house, and my room's really pretty. My name's Mariella and I am 8. And I live in Glastonbury and I've lived here all my life. And I live just up the hill, Windmill Hill, and we're at Paddington Farm and we're doing tree cookies.
The farm gives me and my daughter, I've got a 10-year-old daughter, space, I think, and friendship and love, and it's just a beautiful place to be, and we're very, very happy to be here for the summer.
I like doing cartwheels and dancing in the fields and stuff. And I like going on the go-karts and the witch's hat.
Today it's volunteer day. Every Wednesday the volunteers come in, and a few of us are cooking lunch for the volunteers. So we've got doing pizza and salad and roasted vegetables. I've been given a whole box of chard, and I'm never sure what to do with that, so I'm going to bung it in some garlic and chilli and hope for the best and oil. So it's about feeding the people who are working in the gardens, chopping wood. They could do any number of things. So it's about all coming together at the end of the morning, about 1 o'clock, and eating a communal meal together.
Sometimes I help with the lunch for the volunteers, and I help make a little bit of the pizza oven. Well, we're at Paddington Farm, and we're doing our forest school club, and we're making tree cookies, and it's where you saw a cookie out of wood, and after you get a screwdriver and you saw it in, you make a hole and then get some string and colour it in. So you can thread the thread through it, so you can put it around your neck or a belt or something like that. And we're doing that, and also there's lots of animals here and also a park.
We're all set up initially to bring children out of inner city London to show them how country life is. You know, how to feed animals and what grows naturally, because sometimes if you live in the city you don't actually get to experience those things. And I think since then it's blossomed into this whole entity that's helping a whole manner of people. For us, we've been coming to this campus for years, and we live in a town, and it gives my daughter the freedom to explore the countryside in a really safe and loving, nurturing environment.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I'm 15 and I go to Crispin School. And I'm here because I'm doing my Duke of Edinburgh, so I'm doing some volunteering down at the farm.
My name's Sol, Solfire. I ended up in Glastonbury beginning of the year. I'm sort of relocating from Kent, and I've always come and stayed at Paddington Farm. It's been a great place for me to visit, and I've got a chance to be involved in sort of helping with the animals and the running of the farm.
I'm Robin, and I came to Paddington Farm originally to have a look at what we might do with the big barn and whether there were ways in which we could do something interesting with it, because in the past I'd built a little visitor centre at the Red Brick project out of Argos catalogues, and I'd built that, and I'd renovated our village hall with straw bales and wine bottles and sheep fleece and stuff. And so we looked at the barn, but we couldn't afford to do that. So we thought, well, what we might do is build a classroom out of recycled stuff. So that's what we did. So the classroom is made out of old pallets and vinyl flooring and 100 car tyres and spare glass windows and all sorts of stuff, where everybody on the farm helped. And I also brought the scrap metal recycling scheme up from another project I'd been on before. And the idea of that was that people give us old metal stuff, and if it's just metal, it goes in the skip, and Thomas's, the local scrap people, give us money. But if we can mend it or make use of it, or for example, we get bicycles and things we can make into go-karts for the kids to play on, we do that. So that's what I'm here to do. And I've now sort of done those, which means I shall be off and doing something else.
My name's David Banwell. I'm a farmer from Wedmore, where we farm 400 acres with 300 beef cattle on it at the moment, and 25 acres of cider apple orchards, a bit like these we can see here today.
My name's Celia, and I've been coming to the farm for about the last
8 years. I do quite a few different things, like looking after the animals to chopping wood, and I've done some things to help out in the kitchen before.
It's a great time for me to learn new skills, so I guess we kind of learn off each other. I like the interaction with the animals, children, groups of people. Believe in sharing and caring and all getting on.
We grow vegetables to sell, so I bring in some financial, some income to the farm, and we also feed the volunteers with the vegetables as well. So hopefully I've also created a beautiful space with the help of lots of volunteers, a place for people to enjoy and be inspired and get involved and get their hands in the earth. Yeah, I think it's a very beneficial place, the garden, for a lot of people.
Yesterday we were cutting wood, making a roof for a water tap, and today is in the garden. But the main thing is for us is to come and learn on and how to grow your own food, and how to be useful in the garden, really.
So England, it has very good nature, place, and weather. It's lovely.
I heard Rob say earlier it's about getting people back to the land, and that's what we really want to do, really. Get back to the land, learn how to grow, and be as self-sustainable and self-sufficient as possible.
The remit is basically to provide a rural farm experience for urban children and disadvantaged groups. It also has a myriad of other purposes. It benefits so many people who come to the farm, and whether they be the holiday makers or local volunteers or local forest school participants. I think just getting people back in touch with the land is, what it comes down to here.
I've been wood carving for quite a few years of my life, and I needed somewhere to work for a little while. So I've been working in this barn for exchange for making all the signs for the farm, and there's over 50 of them, I think, by the time we finished. There's still a few more to go, and so I've essentially cut them out of pieces of wood and then inlay glitter into them so people can see it in the dark in the winter. And so yeah, they're all over the farm, and it's been really lovely getting the feedback from that, because they've worked quite well, really, I think.
My expertise is on the farming side, and just to help the farm out with how it's like to go forward in terms of livestock and orchards.
What Paddington Farm has done for me is that it's given me an opportunity to build a fabulous project and allowed me to do it, and do it in the best location on the planet. And what I hope Paddington Farm's got is a nice classroom that they can use for all sorts of different things. It isn't really a classroom, it's a classroom, playroom, art room, practice room, project room, lying down room, yoga room, party room, whatever they want to do with it.
The purpose of the farm, I think, basically is for children and adults who live in the city to come and enjoy sort of the country way of life, interacting with the animals, learning new skills. For the children, there's lots of space, lots of freedom to express themselves. Again, for them to learn new skills, build their trust, and things like that. It's good for the kids as well as for the adults.
Today I've just come over to look at a couple of trees. We've got one here we might have to prop up, and have a good look around the orchard and see what the crop's like. And we've also had a bit of a disaster with the sheep, so we're just here to have a look and see how we can how that can go forward.
So yeah, now I'm just making some work in exchange for doing some more signs. I'm about to do a big map of the farm, because people don't really know where they are when they get here and where everything is. So Michael and I have been sort of, I'm just doing all the plans for it now. So we're, you are here sort of thing.
I think the purpose really is to make a place where people from London or people who've never been out in the countryside can come and look at a fantastic place, which is, as we can say today, is sunny and nice bit of air and fresh air, and just that people can see that this is something where countryside meets city, if you like, and you can appreciate both.
This year we're celebrating the farm's 30th anniversary, so I would certainly like to think that we're setting up for the next 30 years. And the fact that people do come generation after generation leads us to think that there is going to be this sense of continuity and that other people will take this place forward in the way that we've sort of picked it up and run with it. I would like to think that some of the children that come to the farm now may have an interest in the future and bring their own children and perhaps their grandchildren, and like some of the play workers here who came here when they were children, and now they're trained play workers and they're bringing children themselves. So that is a really good feeling, that there is a sense of the onward path of this place and that it serves a particular group of people who really deserve to come here and enjoy it.
I love the job. It's the best job I've ever done. It's a job which is very creative. You've got to be creative all the time to be thinking your way out of issues. The farm has a limited budget, which means that we always have to be thinking about how to do things on the cheap, which is a challenge in itself. But I actually really like that part of the job, you know, trying to think our way out of issues and problems and things.
The main purpose of Paddington Farm Trust is to keep a pathway open between the urban world and the rural world, so that the two don't become too far away from each other. And by having this kind of channel, so that people can come out of the city and experience this, get comfortable with it, have some new experiences, so that hopefully when they grow up they won't be afraid of the countryside. They won't feel like it's a big scary place full of spiders and mud. So the purpose is to give people the skills to come and explore the country they live in.